I'm Lizzie Goodman, that's Interpol. You're all caught up. I wanted to kind of start by, I mean, you guys have been answering questions about this for a really long time, so you're probably already somewhat, your answer should be very good then, by now. Tell me about when this album started. Like, you guys are always working on stuff in a variety of different projects and in a variety of different capacities. When, in your estimation, did this record, like, begin to take shape?
Decay? To take shape?
Yes.
I think we started working on it probably at the end of this, like the end of 2016, right? I think Paul and I first got together and I played him some things that I've been working on. I should use this, by the way.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, it's directional. You have to put your...
Yeah. I'll get used to it.
You should know this already. I'm giving the instructions to Lizzie.
I know, you got it.
Just a joke.
Hello? My microphone hero. Thank you. Yay. Wow, it's really close now. Okay, yeah.
Better.
So you and Paul got together. Where? Like, where did you start? Do you have?
We actually were using the Yeah Yes rehearsal space on. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
I felt that way too. It was really cool.
It really did, because they had this great past tense. They had this great rehearsal space on the Bowery, just down the road from where his TVs used to be, and they let us use it, and it was like the best rehearsal space I think we ever had. It was like subterranean. They carved it out, just sort of made it like a nice little like clubhouse. They had all their old posters from like way back in the day, and
Cool gear. Carano Cape.
Yeah, they did.
No,
New York.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Just like weird keyboards of Nick's and Christmas lights on the ceiling. It was really
No, they really made it home.
Oh, Nick's, a lot of Nick's photographs, Polaroids.
Yeah. No, it was dope. It was really great.
Does it not exist anymore? Is that why you're
Sam thought of that.
Fuck that all up.
You guys trashed the place, and then they were like, "We're never letting that Interpol band back in our rehearsal."
No, we were a little loud, and a neighbor complained a couple times.
No
the cops
way.
came a couple times. And
Wait,
the second
this is
time.
really?
It's true. Yeah, we got kicked out.
Everybody got kicked out. Yeah, end of story.
Yeah, the cops came twice. Was it like twice in a week?
No, it was like 6 months apart, I think, or something like that.
Well, like twice in a week.
What did you say when the cops came?
I mean, I answered the door sort of with my guitar on, and like over my shoulder, Sam like at a drum kit, like all sweaty, and it's kind of like,
What's that?
noise. I don't know what you're talking about. Not us.
I think they thought I was paranoid because they wanted me for some unrelated transgression.
You're like, oh, you're just here because we're being too loud for you. Okay, fine. Okay. Well, I guess that's a sort of, auspicious but then destructive beginning to the record. You like ruined the AS rehearsal space, but something good happened there, apparently.
Yeah, we started there, and we basically at the end of, I guess, after touring on the Elpin tour, we took a little bit of a break. That was like at the end of 2015 or the fall of 2015. Then we got back. Paul and I first got together. I played him some songs I've been working on. We just had a setup like just bass and a vocal mic, and then within like a few days we made some great headway of some of the songs, and it was pretty exciting. And then Sam joined, I think that same session, or maybe the session after.
It's like a week later.
A week later, and then we just kind of were on our way.
The truth is, they only had one mic set up. And they needed me to set up more mics. So
Sam helped.
He is like
we need you to start working on some songs.
He's really good with the mic setups, yeah.
Yeah, there's evidence today. So is it like, I'm picturing like a Sam bat signal. Like, okay, we're far enough along that it's time to call Sam.
How when my thing goes off, it's like, oh, how sweet, they're trying to record.
Yeah, I think we were kind of trying to gather some material so when we got together, because we're not always in New York at the same time, so we can make the most of that time. And it's the way we write quite often these days. Is back in the day we'd be like 5 days a week,
Yeah.
but pretty regularly
You're
every
slackers
week.
now is what you're saying.
Now we're slackers, so we coordinate what we'll be here for like these 10 days and we'll write every single day. So we have to really make those days count, and you never know. That sometimes it could work out. It really depends on the results. So, but it helps when we have a little bit of a game plan in place.
That's actually interesting. I mean, how have you noticed the songs, or have you noticed a difference in the end result, given that you don't sort of have that sprawling sense of like time is no object, no impediment anymore? Like, how has that changed? Do you think that's changed what you make?
I think not drastically. I think there's a benefit in the way that we do it now, where we kind of get together and then we break. And then everyone takes home these sort of really well-recorded demos that Sam engineers.
Yeah.
And we can all live with what we're doing and sort of make notes, and then you come back with, I think it's very useful in a creative process to like step away.
When those songs are in that stage, how do you play them on your phone, driving in your car? Like, how do you each sort of, I mean, you don't have to go down the road like kindergarten answering this, but like I'm interested in how you, Sam, would you like to answer first? But how you sort of integrate that, how that process that you just described actually works in your lives, how you put those songs into your head. Because you also like toured in between the making of this record, your first album, which is just an interesting kind of, I don't know, like mental hopscotch that you're doing while making something new. How did that, someone answer in response to that was a John question.
Well, first of all, to the first part of that,
Yeah.
we do a better than okay job recording what we call rehearsals, which is really just, what it comes down to is arranging what has been written. And then when it's time to break, I go home and just mix all that, and they each give me very detailed lists of what takes, what songs from what day.
Oh,
and
right.
Yeah, it takes like 4 days.
I can only imagine, yeah.
And then, of course, my dyslexic brain gets them mixed up, and Daniel will say, no, I didn't want mix 80 of song number 16.
Yeah,
so
so
that kind of boring thing transpires.
Okay.
But we do get to live, like
Yeah.
the 2 weeks that we'll take off, there's just recordings to listen to, and whether
Yeah.
it be in my car or on Paul's surfboard. Or
We'll do like 5, 6, I guess in the course of a batch of rehearsals, we'll do like 50 takes of any given song, and there might be one take where you did one guitar noodle, and it's like, I need to hear that one.
That again, yeah.
And then there's also the issue of I'm not singing real words at this point all the time. I'm sort of just like
Give us a
singing
sample.
Romulan,
Come on,
what
do it.
is a
Do it.
way I've heard it referred to. No. And so in those mixes, it's kind of like
Wait,
saying,
what do
I
you
don't
refer
need...
to it as? Sorry.
It's actually a Matt Sweeneyism, I think. Romulan is the way he puts it. But I've heard, I
Romulan.
think
Star
Ozzy
Trek.
does something like it too. What's that?
Star Trek.
Yes.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
But basically not English is the idea. And it's, when you're just working out the top line melody and the cadence of it, it's I don't write the words, the lyrics like instantly,
Yeah.
sometimes, but not usually. So in those mixes, it's like I don't need that vocal cranked, just me making shit up. It's like
I really
just
need to hear
talk
that
the
again.
vocal, please, like some reverb on there. Yeah, there's a lot of requests on Sam.
It's super helpful though. I listen to it just walking
Yeah.
along and just hearing things, and then you get an idea from, you hear like one little thing that happened once, and it gives you an idea for something bigger that can be born from that.
Yeah. It's interesting because I did read some reviews of this record in an attempt to be,
It sounds like it's not working at all.
No, but it's just funny. There's an interesting a lot of what's getting said about this album, which I love, by the way, it's amazing. It really is a lot of fun to listen to, and it does have a kind of propulsive, the reviews seem to be focusing in part on a sense of momentum and energy and kind of like a churningness. And in some cases, in contrast to like a more sprawling sound that you guys had at the beginning of your career, and it's just interesting because your process is actually sort of the reverse. It's interesting to hear how like more time might make things feel like more open, but in some ways less open. Almost like you could get time as an enemy in a certain sense.
it can.
Yeah.
There is a point that
Yeah.
you're not privy to where
Yes. You're supposed to stop and you don't know, or
diminishing returns,
Yes.
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that leads up to why we decided to work with a producer for the first time,
Yeah.
really, and
So why does it lead there? How did that decision get made? Sam, you come on. I mean, you just made me ask that question.
I know.
You just opened the door for that one.
It just kind of, it seemed like all of a sudden it was in the room and there was a discussion. And it was like a 3-month-long discussion of the possibilities. And we still kept doing what we were doing. We weren't stalled by the decision of, oh, do we work with them? We
Yeah.
just kept going. And it finally got reduced down to Dave Fridman, which secretly I was not letting go of. I am a Fridman fanboy. Like, it just goes back to your self-esteem, Mercury Rev, and
Did you hold it together when you first met him, or did you
I
forget?
barely. Dave, do you remember when Mercury Rev and Jonathan?
That was awesome.
Grasshopper. He was a guitar player. He was so cool. Dave.
So you went.
He's so disarming that he is such
He's
a,
super chill.
oh my God, what a
Yeah.
lovely man.
Yes, the
He
chillest.
really is. Very highly intelligent,
Yeah.
very friendly, no pretension whatsoever, and brilliant. Like, he's fucking brilliant. Period.
You like him a bit.
A little.
Yeah. But when you guys were when